A lot on the line in the Constructors' Championship, as well as that battle for second place in the Drivers' Championship. And with Napadovsky not taking part here in Brazil, it's an excellent opportunity for Formula Danny to leapfrog both Napadovsky and Hypers in the Championship standings as the revs begin to rise and the lights will go out for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It looks like it's a really good start from Romanidis as we make our way down into turn one, but Speed Barry should be able to hold the position as they go side by side through the center S. And Romanidis will pick up the position as Speed Barry is now compromised, and Lehman is right on his tail as we make our way down the Reto Oposta. Lehman might even have a look as something's happened behind as we see that Vettel has retired.
Zoran and Vettel collided. I think Vettel hit a wall and saw a complete front wing, and he retired now too. I don't know if it's from damage.
As that's a dive bomb coming in from behind. Matthias and Formula Danny. Formula Danny will hold onto the position though as it's Romanidis from Lehman. Formula Danny up into third already. A crazy good start from him. But here's the shocker Speed Barry all the way down in 8th place at the moment as he's disconnected from the session as well.
As Leonard drops down the grid, now behind Brownie and Zones, and
that's Leonard now looking for the inside, and he goes sideways. But Zones, look at the closing speed, dives to the inside, heading down into the center S. Photon will be forced to slot in behind and try to get the better run as we make our way through the Curva do Sol. And Photon will have DRS, but does he have the drive? And you can see Cardinov and Krusix in the background as Photon looks toward the inside and down into the Descida del Lago. Photon will reclaim a 6th place. But Zones is right on his tail, and these two are having a proper ding-dong battle as Zones looks to the outside as we make our way into the double. But look how close Formula Danny is getting onto Lehman. He's going to get a much better drive as we make our way through the Curva do Sol onto the Reto Oposta. Formula Danny has a DRS this time, less than a 10th behind as Lehman will go defensive. Formula Danny looks towards the outside and he'll pick up the 3rd place. There's almost a bit of contact, but Danny has it covered. Back behind, Photon holds on to 6th place, or actually reclaims 6th place from Zones as this two-way battle will continue. 3 seconds up as Cardinov down the inner side of the Zones we go. And there's contact between the two Mercedes drivers, but Cardinov picks up the position as Zone's forced to back out. And now look at Krusix right on the tail as he's forced to take a wide line on the exit. And I don't think he's going to be able to find anything down into the Descida del Lago as he's just too far back now.
Photon is like quite quick.
Oh, here we go. Photon looking around the outside as we make our way down into the center S, and he picks up the position fairly comfortably as well, as Brownie might decide to come in the pits this time as Cardinov forced to defend from Zones, but Zones is going to get the better run coming through turn 3 and down onto the Reto Oposta. Zones inching ahead, and he's going to pick up the position as Cardinov forced to slot down into 8th, but there's a bit of contact between them. Zones will hold on to the position. Jake and Leonard side by side through the double left-hander. And Krusix just can't find a way through. Leonard and Jake just side by side. This is just a roadblock block for Krusix. And maybe Leonard, he is a Krusix teammate in the Haas car, might let Krusix through, but they're still side by side. There's just no space for Krusix at all. But Krusix is going to try to find a way down into the right hander. And he's going to be able to pick up a position up into 10th place. But Cardinov is not far behind this battle as Krusix right on the tail of Leonard coming through Junkao.
And Lehman and Zones just decided to pit.
So we're going to have to see where they will feed out relative to Matthias as Krusix will complete the move up into 9th place. Now Zones in the pits, he's going to come out really far back as the undercut proving really big for Krusix, who picks up a 3-second time penalty as well.
And Lehman just got right, just got out of the pits right behind his teammate. Maybe got a little bit of a toe on this second gear.
Now, Zones has come out right behind Cardinov, but Jake and Leonard, they're still side by side. Yeah, Crucix has come and gone, but Jake and Leonard still are having this absolutely cracker of a battle. Behind, Ulas gets a little bit sideways on exit, and Kardanov will pick up the position in a flash. Kardanov makes his way up into 11th. Zones is a little bit too far back to be able to find anything as Leonard dives into the pit. But Ulas is looking like he's a little bit all over the place. Maybe he'll have a look. He's going to go for the dive bomb down into turn 1. And Zones watches all of this unfold as Ulas reclaims the position. All of this falling into the hands of Crucix perfectly. And the mediums at the end of the race, there's a bit of a lag spike coming in. And they're ghosting through each other. And that's a perfect opportunity for Kardanov to be able to find a way through, just a drive through Ulas to pick up the position as Zones gets to watch this beautiful spectacle from Codemasters occur. That pit detector, what was that from Kardanov?
I don't know.
So Kardanov just lagged up back into Ulas. And I think Ulas has front wing damage from that. There was contact, and there's a bit more contact with the Zones there, but Kardanov having some lag issues. Maybe he's a few seconds ahead, maybe it'll work. But Lehman battling with Matthias, and Lehman will pick up the position on the start-finish straight. And I'm not going to lie, I just think these two Williams drivers, they're not going to battle too hard. As Crucix gets really sideways on the exit of Junkao, and Brownie right on the tail. Up ahead, though, Photon's going to have a logo for fourth, or plays down the inside into the center. He'll make the move work, but behind, Crucix and Brownie battling. Brownie picks up 6th place of 4, and now as Photon is on the tail of Lehman in the battle for 3rd place. Photon will look to the inside, and Lehman won't defend too hard, although he'll try to hang it around the outside, but it won't quite work. Crucix regains a position on Brownie as Lehman tugs right in behind Photon. He'll get the better drive, and he should be close enough to make a move down into turn 1. Romanidis will go defensive as Danny tucks right in behind. Looks toward the outside as they go side by side down into the Desida del Lago. And Romanidis will drop down into 2nd place.
Yeah, he can't pull out that much in that time.
As Kardanov gets a really good run coming out of the Desida del Lago around the outside into Ferradura. And Kardanov all the way around the outside as we head down into turn 8. Still on the outside, still Kardanov. And Kardanov will pick up the position as we go into the Pinarino. But Crucix is not giving up just yet, but he will be forced to as he drops down into 8th place. Fall off as Kardanov is going to take a look around the outside down into the center S, but he'll just look to get the switcheroo. Has to be careful that Crucix doesn't show his nose, but it's all good so far. Kardanov right on the tail of Browdy. This might be his chance. He'll look to the outside as we make our way down the Reto Posta and into the left hand of turn 4. But Brownie holds on to the position magnificently. Kardanov this time right on the tail of Brownie, who will go defensive. And you have to feel that this time Kardanov has made the move work. Kardanov up into 6th place, but can Brownie stay close enough as we make our way down into the Reto Posta? Kardanov gets a much better exit, and it's actually Crucix who is really close on to Brownie. Brownie will get the RS, but so does Crucix as we make our way down Reto Posta into the Desida del Lago. Crucix gets close. There's a bit of contact between the two of them, but Kardanov is well and truly clear up into 6th place. But just this battle, no matter... Oh, there's contact! And that zones into the back of a Crucix. And... Oh... Zones, dearie
will be
me.
very angry.
Yeah, Crucix. And it felt like something was going to happen. And Zones, I think he slowed down as well at the end. He wanted to let Crucix back through, but Crucix was just into the grass.
Crucix even have to pit.
Up ahead though, Brownie on the tail of Kardanov, and Brownie is not done with his razor just yet. Down the inside of a soon-to-be esports driver. Good job from Brownie, but Kardanov right on the tail as we make our way down through the Curva do Sol. Brownie will keep it defensive, but the battle for 6th place rages on as Ulas picks up a 3-second time penalty. But side by side in the battle for 6th, Kardanov gets forced out wide, but they'll stay side by side as they make their way down through the double left-hander. Kardanov with the inside down into Ferradura, and Brownie, can he find the grip on the outside? No, he cannot. Kardanov Cardinov will hold on to 6th place for now, but Brownie is still right there in this battle, and we're not done yet. On up ahead, our final lap. This is a final battle between the two Williams drivers, and Matthias will go down the inner side, but Lehman's not done yet. Oh, there's contact, and Lehman goes sideways. Can he stay out of the wall? Yes, he can, but behind, that's Cardinov up into 6th place, but Brownie will look down the inside. He'll pick up the position as Cardinov. He looks for the switchback, is right on the tail of the Renault. We saw them side by side down into the Interlagos on the previous lap. Can they do it again? Does Brownie have anything extra? They're so low on the ERS department. Cardinov only with 10%, and that extra 10% that Brownie have might be enough to secure him 6th place. It's Formula Danny who still leads from Romanidis and a Photon. Matthias should have 4th place in the bag after contact between the two Williams drivers into turn 1, but Cardinov is on the tail of a Brownie. Zones on the back of Ulas. We talked about the run out of the final corner, but Cardinov getting really sideways, and I think his tires are completely done and dusted. Brownie should pick up 6th place. He just needs to get Junkao right, and I think he has got it done. Zones is too far back. Formula Danny picks up the win ahead of Romanidis and Photon. Matthias will take 4th ahead of Lehman. Brownie will take a fantastic 6th place ahead of Cardinov. Ulas will take 8th ahead of Zones, who jumps ahead after time penalties. Teensay will get 10th, just half a second shy of Ulas. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And joining us up for our driver interviews are the two Triton drivers, Lehman and Matthias. You guys had a bit of a ding-dong battle all the way through. But, okay, going into the last lap, we'll start with the guy who didn't die, which is Matthias. Go on.
AKA Ding
What do you have
Ding.
to say? What do you have to say for yourself?
I don't know if this racing or ping pong, he just completely turned into me like I wasn't
You
even there.
turned into
I
me.
don't know what was he thinking. He should probably learn how to drive in the next race because it's unacceptable behavior, and we will talk after. Definitely.
And
Yeah, bye, Matt.
and David, go on then. Because to be fair, myself and Maku, we saw it, but in all seriousness, what did happen into turn 1 between you two?
I mean, I don't know. You have to ask him. He doesn't know how to move on track and drive at all.
I don't know.
Think,
you have a bad,
like,
very bad
no.
perception. You know.
No, I think you have very bad perception.
Okay, I mean, if it makes it any better, I can speak to league admins and give you both time penalty.
Yeah, 10 seconds for him. I don't care.
He will get 25 seconds because he spun me. I didn't spun him.
Well, thank you guys very much for joining us. Things have certainly heated up in the Constructors' Championship. There'll be a post coming out through on Twitter that will explain how the championship currently looks. As I say, that Formula Danny gets a 3rd vote on the straw poll, so he is now our driver of the day. But thank you guys, everyone, very much for watching. Don't forget to hit ORL up with a follow on Twitter at @team_ORL. And until next time, guys, which will be next Thursday, 7:30 p.m. GMT, for the final race of season 11. Stay for the final race of season 11. Stay fast. See you next week.
Good evening.